we have a story that we tell ourselves. And, I've become very conscious of the story I was telling myself unconsciously after I had a failed business, lost all my money, lost my credit, moved off to a ski town to get back on my feet and live my biggest dream in my life, to promptly break my ankle in 7 places. Somehow, in a town that has no women, got married to a beautiful woman. Now we all know that didn't work out. And looking back on it all, the story that I told myself after all those things didn't go well was, I was telling myself this story. I was a failed business guy. Oh man, I looked at myself in the mirror. I was handicapped. I was failed, broken. I was compromised. It was something that I fully internalized. I lived it out. I became that failed, broken, damaged person. But you can change that at any point. But the thing is, you don't change it by just having affirmations, by thinking something different. You don't tell yourself something different through words, through thoughts. You show yourself something different through actions. And for so many people, the unlock that changes everything is a brutal fitness commitment to physical fitness. I will not miss my days. I am going to push myself every time. And there are many times that I pushed myself too far, whether it came to extended fasting, restricted calories, doing too much strength training without allowing my body to recover. I've caused myself some real problems, and I'm not through all of them because I pushed it too far. But I also showed myself, I told the story to myself that I was tough and I was strong and I was resilient. I wasn't going to miss my days. And now we are right at the edge of New Year's Eve. I think today's the 27th, probably 2 days after Christmas. And everybody's got the resolutions. Everybody says what they're going to do in a few days. They're going to eat better. They're going to quit drinking. They're going to go to the gym. They're going to do whatever thing. And we know most people don't really make it through all of that. Well, let me give you a cheat code. If you want to succeed with whatever your resolution is, start before New Year's Eve by not consuming, by not being gluttonous, by not being intoxicated, by not filling your face with unhealthy foods, and telling yourself the story that you are a gluttonous, fat, drunk loser. Because, dude, I haven't done a New Year's in multiple years. I never will again. I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. on New Year's Day working out. That's the story I tell myself. And I can say it, but it's not because of something I thought or something I just say. It's because it's something that I have been doing. I have been in the gym now for well over 4 years. I turned a skinny, fat, divorced, defeated, drunk, loser version with all the potential in the world and no belief to do anything about it to a person who was, who the amount of just brutal discomfort I've put myself through and kept going. And it's something that you can do too. And you can start it by choosing not to keep showing yourself that you are a gluttonous consumer, that you are a drunk, that the people you surround yourself with, at least while you surround yourself with them, they're also the loser versions of themselves. Just imagine if you choose to act in a manner that's really becoming of the version of yourself that you know you can become, that you envision. For me, when I had my last drink, dude, I've got a drinking problem. I was drinking over 1 liter a day. I was drunk at work. I was drunk on the road. I have a freaking problem because I was escaping from a life that I did not want to live, a place that I didn't fit into, and I knew I had so much to give, and I couldn't figure out how to make it all work, and so I just drink it away. And so I quit drinking. It was about 3 weeks before my planned time, and alcohol had ruined my life. I made my own choices that ruined it, took my own risks, had things that didn't work out. Something was said behind my back that I found out about. And I just said, you know what, F you, watch this. So I already had it planned, and I just, after the night before, when this thing was said about me and my drinking by somebody who should be supportive and compassionate, talking behind my back, and this person probably doesn't even know, but that was where I stopped. I drank with you the last time ever. F you, watch this. And, you know, it was a challenge then, but looking back, it's kind of a cool part of the story, because that was the first moment where I really showed myself the story that I can tell myself. And since then, you know, I've started a marketing company while living out of the back of an SUV 1,300 miles from home on a beach in California. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. But man, it was uncomfortable. It was hard, but I had to do something, because me growing up in a really solid middle class, you know, just stable Midwestern family, 2 parents with great jobs, provided everything we needed. There just wasn't a real rite of passage for most millennial men. Maybe those that went into the military, you know, maybe some that really went hard with athletics, at least in the college level. Maybe they got to build some of that grit and resilience that throughout history is just a normal part of growing up and becoming a man. But we now live in such soft times that you really have to seek out your own rite of passage. I created my own hero's journey for myself. And there was a moment along there, you know, I had just financed on an entry rate credit card. I was out of debt. Came back from the mountains divorced. I was out of debt. And my engine went out. And, you know, to get a brand new engine with the extended warranty, have the mechanic install it, and then pay the fee for the credit card, it was just under $10,000. And I was on track to get that paid off, even though I was working part-time in food service while I was building my business and my YouTube channel. And then the transmission went out right when I got out to the coast, 1,300 miles from home. And I financed the rest of that too. And I was screwed. But I got through it. I mean, there's videos of me with, you know, doing some relatively challenging mechanical stuff, changing out, you know, brakes on the side of the road is not that easy. You'd like to have a shop, so doing brakes and different things along the way. And at the end of this thing, you know, I never drank. And then I stopped smoking pot too. And, you know, I made the video. I haven't committed to going a life without smoking ever again. Who knows, I might, but I have committed to myself now. I'm well over 2 years into not drinking. And so I know I'm talking a lot about myself this time. That wasn't really the intention, but I just wanted to put something out there. I know I've got a small handful of you that have been able to see the value and the lessons that I've learned that I'm sharing about. And I want to encourage you to show your subconscious the person that you want to become by not taking that last blast, by not being the worst version, the worst part of the old version of yourself, by choosing the uncomfortable thing to not go out and fill your face with all kinds of unhealthy foods, probably put yourself in a situation that's either at risk from some other driver running into you, who knows, stupid fight breaks out at the bar, people get shot at times, like things get weird. What if you just, you know, meditate? What if you brought up some yoga online, did an hour of yoga? What if you're in the gym at midnight pushing up some weight? You know, how would that be for a great story when you said, okay, I'm changing my life forever, like I told myself, and I've done it, and I haven't made it, I haven't won. This, you know, what you see right here, this is part of my vision. I just bought a piece of land up in the mountains with a well. This is a 4-wheel drive, my escape pod that I built on a brand new truck that my business bought, that I started living on the beach, making good money. I haven't quite cleared 6 figures, but I'm closing in on it quick. And, you know, within just a couple of years, you know, it was over 4 years since I stepped into the gym. It's over 2 years since my last drink. But, you know, getting home from spending that 11 and a half months living out of my vehicle and starting a business, I now have 4 brands with a 5th one. I'm starting entire new skill sets that are extremely valuable, experience that all of this that I can apply directly to myself and my business. And yes, this would be great on a resume. Man, I'm worth so much money right now between my use and 20 years of internet marketing, video production, now with heavy exposure into AI, building funnels, using automated services. Like, I'm sure if I wanted to work for somebody, I could go out and make more money than I'm making for my current client. But I love my client, and this is the only person in my life I ever want to work for again. And my dream is only for that to become a part-time thing, and only part-time because I love these people so much and everything that I've built for them. I'm irreplaceable. There's nobody that fits into this the way that I do. So I'll always be involved with these people. My dream is not to sell my services to anybody else. My dream is to be completely self-reliant for, true freedom, time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. What is financial freedom? It's when you never have to worry about money again. It doesn't matter what type of hospital bill, doesn't matter if everything you own burns down, it doesn't matter if there's global financial crisis, it doesn't matter, you're set. This right here, this means a lot to me. If any of my messages helps even one person, helps their perspective evolve, helps them take the step to become a better version of themselves, that they'll start to learn and see this thing that I found, that our path to self-belief, our path to overcoming vices, our path to becoming the person that, we admire the most. Like, you could see any other person that you admire and feel the same way about yourself as you would feel about them, or even better about yourself. Even you surpass that. It's totally possible, and it comes from the story that we tell ourselves. But the story that we tell ourselves is not verbal. It's not verbal alone. You could say things, but the story that we tell ourselves is created out of our actions and our habits, and not relenting on things. When we say we're going to go to the gym, this is our schedule, this is what we're committing to, you don't miss. Like, you do not miss. What a better way to start off the new year by coming in to New Year's Day, waking up without a hangover, having already worked out the night before, having started the new version of yourself. And now all you have to do is just keep doing the same thing and don't do anything different. And over time, that's how you change the story that you tell to yourself, through consistent actions that you don't go back on. You don't say, yeah, I'm going to dedicate myself to fitness, but then skip a gym day here and skip a gym day there, or take it easy, or man, you've got 2 more reps in you and you don't feel like pushing them out, or you skip your last set on legs day. And I don't know, I think some people probably do really enjoy working out legs. For me, the leg pressing, whatever version, I'm at Planet Fitness. I don't use that stupid Smith machine, so I do goblet squats with the heaviest dumbbell they have, but it's like 3 sets of 25 or more. It gets crazy, but I keep going. If I set a number, I go to that number, and then in the last set, I'm pushing it, but in that last set, when I get to my number, I know there's another rep or 2, and I go. And then if there's another rep or 2, I keep going. And I always push past where I thought I would get to, or where I had set. And I don't ever take it easy. My legs day, I get up at 4 a.m. on Monday morning, and I start my workout week with legs. The thing I like the least. And the beginning of my legs workout is pressing either goblet squats or leg press. And I push it to the I push it every time. And it's because, not that I'm like, oh, I got to get my gains. No, it's because it's the story that I'm telling myself. And I know that at that moment, that is the most valuable moment of my entire week. That right now, when I could dip out 2 reps earlier, I hit my goal. I hit my 3 sets of 20 at, usually, what do I put that at? Like 240, is it? No, I dropped it down. I was getting up to 280 with lower reps, but now I'm more like 200 on that, and leg press, it changes, the weights irrelevant. The number's different how hard it is from one machine to the next. But, you know, I do a warm-up, which already burns. I'm at like 140. I'm at 140, and I'll do sets of 20. And I'll do a set of 20 at 180, a set of 20 at 200, and then the last set. Every once in a while, I'm just struggling to make it to that 20th, and there's nothing left. But a lot of times, there's another rep, and then I find there's another one. And I'm like, screw it. I'm going to tell myself 2 more. And then there's another one. And I know that most uncomfortable moment of my entire week, I just set myself up for success for the entire week, because I just told myself the true story that I'm going to push through hard, uncomfortable things because I choose to, not because anybody else made me to. And that is the story that we tell ourselves through our actions. That's the first thing I do Monday morning before I begin. All of the challenging things that I don't love about building all these different brands and being, I am doing everything right now, and I suck at administrative stuff, but I'm going to get through it. And so for me, finding a way to work these long-form discussions into my life with you is vital, because it's also really good for me. It reinforces what I'm thinking and what I'm doing. It holds me accountable. It helps me. You know, I feel like I'm really good. Like, I'm not going to deviate from my path, but it just helps reinforce what I'm doing. I have to be the person that I admire that is actually, you know, qualified to speak to you about these things. And I've got plenty of things that I'm still developing. I'm still working out, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to having some discussions with you guys about, you know, some of these challenges that I've come into. You know, there's things that all day long I could provide real legitimate guidance with a track record to prove it. And there are things that I'm still figuring out along the way that I'm just sharing this journey. This moment right now is a moment that you can choose to tell yourself the beginning of the best chapter, the best story that you start creating with your life and you start telling yourself. Can start with not having one last blast. Can start with eating healthy, working out, going to sleep at a good time, and being ready to rock on New Year's Day. Knowing that you're going into the new year already having made that choice to live the story that you're telling yourself, or to tell yourself the story that you're living. So, have a happy new year. Here's my thing I told myself. You know, the long form is what I care about. The short form, I'm just going back. I'm going through every video I've had, learning and becoming competent using AI to help me chop those up and edit them and add titles and everything. And, you know, it's been useful. It's a good skill to develop. But here, my biggest challenge is I understand. I've got my adventure channel that I take my 4x4 camper out and do cool things in. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff over there too. Completely different than this. My biggest challenge is that on the long form videos, I understand packaging is vital. Having the title, thumbnail, topic, and hook all working together at the beginning. And getting that all perfect it's a couple hours to do it right. And I'm so proud of the things I've figured out. I look at the things that I've built for this new channel on the long form, and I really am happy with the direction it's going. I understand this channel is not supposed to go viral. This is meaningful. This is something I want to keep talking with you for years. I want to watch your success. I want to hear your success stories. I want to actually build a community where, you know, there are people who have made it farther than me that I can look to and interact with. There are people that are aspiring to get to the place that I've gotten to from a place similar to theirs. And if I let the great be the enemy of the good, I'm not going to put out long form content while doing all these other things in my second YouTube channel and 5 other brands. And it's just, but it's not hard for me to sit here and talk with you. So if I don't have my thumbnail perfect, if I don't have the hook and the title working together, but I've got something meaningful or valuable that someone who appreciates what I have to say or finds value from it can glean more value, or wants to just sit here and have this discussion with me, or make a response video, make a video of your own, tag me, let me know, hey, I made this to talk to you, or I was thinking of you, or whatever. I've just got to keep creating. The thing that I'm really aware of is everything that I'm doing, it's become overwhelming, but overwhelm is a state of mind. One thing at a time. I let myself get gridlocked when there's just too much, and no matter what I do, it feels like I'm doing something wrong because I need to be doing something else, and then I end up not getting as much done as I want to because I've spent too much time anxious about about being overwhelmed. So, one thing at a time. This is, if I go from putting out a video like every day like I was starting to do, trying to do them multiple days a week, having the perfect title, the perfect thumbnail, everything perfect, spending all the time editing in Canva, because I'm not a Photoshop guy. Canva got the job done well. It's better for me to just put out the message, and I can probably come back at a later point and tweak, make a bunch of nice thumbnails and tweak everything, but I just need to talk to you. I've gone through these things in my life, and I have seen the light. I have found this path of self-reliance where a person can take themselves from one thing and turn themselves into something else. And it starts, the way that I understand, with a brutal commitment to self through physical fitness. That's how you begin telling yourself a different story, by showing yourself different actions consistently. There's like that thing where you remember the good times with the drinking, and if you focus on that, you can forget how absolutely horrific it is. I guess there's times it's like, oh yeah, that would be one of those moments where it might feel nice, or it would feel nice to drink. So I think, but then I just take a breath for a second and think, no, it really wouldn't, because I love waking up every day at 4 a.m. knowing that I'm the man that's getting up to go to the gym and work out, and I've been doing this for over 4 years. Haven't always been doing 4 a.m. I'm only 2 months back to my 4 a.m. wake ups. I did that for like 6 months, but I think this is probably a permanent thing, because the very first thing of every day, and the very first thing on Monday morning, I'm up at 4 a.m. getting ready for legs day, and I don't dread it on the way to the gym, man. I used to dread so much my early mornings. It was so bad. When I started into this fitness life, and I was still battling alcohol, and I was smoking weed like crazy, and I would get myself just baked before my workout. But then I'd work out for 4 hours and just wreck myself, and I'd do it 7 days a week, and I didn't take breaks. I had no days off, which is not healthy. It's not wise, but it was very good for me mentally. But I'm still not suggesting you do that. And if you go hardcore like that, work with a trainer or medical professional, something. I had tendonitis on both elbows and both knees. I'm still fighting it in one elbow. 4 years later, it's moved all over the place. I overdid the fasting hardcore. I kept myself in a state of starvation for 1.5 years. And I had, my white blood cells were so low, there was some name for the condition. It was like well under 2,800, and I think the low end of optimal, or low end of normal, is 4,500. So I was like half of the white blood cell count of the minimum healthy amount, because my body was eating itself because I was just overdoing it. But at the end of that, man, when I realized what was going on, I saw I was on a 97-day diet to finish all that off, and I saw it through, and I've got a video about that'll come out eventually. It's meaningful. I want to edit it well, and it takes a lot of time. And the farther past that, I'll be able to even give a little bit of info at the end. So, hey, at this point, I'm just chatting with you. It's caused me anxiety that I haven't been putting out these long form videos. These discussions mean something to me. I know that they mean something to you or somebody out there. And just because I can't figure out how to systematically make the time to make the packaging perfect doesn't mean the message isn't valuable. It just means I put more of the message out and I keep figuring things out. And I'm getting ready to take the new Freedom on Wheels here out to my new land for the first time since I bought it. And then, it's winter time. I'm wearing shorts today. We're in Kansas. It's usually freezing ass cold this time of year, but I've been in shorts and a tank top all day. So I'm going to head back out to the Arizona and California desert for a couple months, work off my laptop half time for my clients while I focus on content full time. And you should see some nice thumbnails and packaging and whatnot during that time, because I've been building this life for a year and a half to start doing this stuff. This is my dream. I have my adventure channel where I go out and I, do anything from ride wheelies on bicycles. My ex-wife as a high-level stunt rider, lived on a ski slope for 7 years. We've gone camping and living out on beaches all over the country. There's all kinds of fun stuff. And that's my passion. That's where I now get to focus on creativity over there, because I've got this channel where I understand how to actually make a difference, and I understand how to develop and grow this channel. My adventure channel, I can't figure that out. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to create in a fun way. I'm going to bring out my DSLR, which hopefully I haven't lost it through all this crazy move. I can't find it. So hopefully that's in storage. And I'm going to start creating, not chasing views or chasing the algorithm, still trying to learn and evolve and, make something I'm proud of, that I enjoy, that caters to the viewer and the algorithm, but not by giving up any bit of my own creativity or vision or anything that I can't fully 100% endorse. And over here, we just get to have discussions that mean a lot and will over time mean more. And some of you are going to come out to my land and have a comeback camp with me, and we're all going to go out there and we're going to put on weight vests and we're going to hike up the sand dunes at the Great Sand Dunes National Park, and we're going to get up early and we're going to prep healthy meals, and we're going to go, there's a hot spring about just a mile across the road that has lithium in the water, that has good healthy healing aspects, and have that. And now, if you know my other channel, there's another hot spring up the hill, which I love. And that one up the hill is clothing optional. That's not going to be part of the comeback camp. Especially, that wouldn't make any sense at all. But there's a really nice hot spring across the road. We get up early, we meal prep, we do hard, uncomfortable things, but we love doing it. And we come back and we soak in the hot spring and we go to bed early and we repeat and start to train this whole new mindset that there is true fulfillment when you choose to put yourself into a state of voluntary discomfort and push through and overcome. And that's how you're going to change the story you tell to yourself. So it's been great to talk with you again. It's amazing how much I feel like I bumble at the beginning of these videos, or how much I feel like I string them out. But then sometimes when I see them later, they're not too bad. But one thing's for sure, you don't get better without putting in the reps. And I've got a valuable, meaningful message to bring to the world. And together, we're all going to help ourselves and each other develop into the most amazing versions of ourselves. And we're going to help others do the same. So, Happy New Year. I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I'll be in bed well before 10 o'clock. And I'm going to eat right. And there's not going to be any alcohol in this body. Never again. So, love you. Thanks for hanging out. Look forward to talking to you soon.